iPads have always been limited in what they can do, as to not mess with sales of Macs. However, this is changing with the new developer beta, uh, iOS 26, which will make iPads even more viable for college students, but with some limitations. I myself have been using my iPad strictly for note taking during high school and continuing to college. I've never really used it as a form of necessarily web browsing or even like content creation. But recently, I've been changing my ways simply because they've been allowing the iPad to have more and more functionality, like adding DaVinci Resolve, and now allowing it to act more like a Mac. I've been seeing myself using my Mac less and less, but one of the major limitations which affects me is coding. You can't necessarily code on an iPad. So for my coders out there, I'm not necessarily sure if switching over to an iPad is the best idea. But we should probably talk about the features that are being brought onto iPad. I actually don't even remember how like the name is supposed to be. I'm just gonna call it iOS 26. The new liquid glass look is alright. At least for my iPad with the background that I have, everything is just black and white, which it's okay. They do have actual new custom icons. Well, not custom, but just new icons for some of the applications with the updated liquid glass look, which honestly I personally like it. It's not terrible. I've heard people say worse about it, but it's a nice new little change. However, though, the UI itself is still very buggy. I've been noticing a lot of just slowness when it comes to just trying to use the iPad. But of course, it's probably because I am on a developer beta, which I should probably switch over to the public beta as soon as that comes out. I'm not sure if it's out yet. I really haven't done that much research on it right now, but personally, it's manageable. The slowness and all that of the UI is manageable. It's understandable with it being so early on into the developer beta. But as for the reasons why it is so slow, the multitasking. I personally am using an iPad Air 4, which is not using an M chip. It is using, I believe it was the iPhone 11 chip, which it's alright. I do notice a lot of slowdown when I'm trying to multitask or even just try to do something really quickly. If I don't give the iPad enough time to process, it just slows down to a crawl. You can actually have many applications opened at the same time while using your Mac in order to take notes, to watch a video at the same time, to quickly look up something on Safari, or even being able to just play a game on the side, which honestly, it's a very nice feature. I personally have been using it when I'm just browsing the web, wanting to text somebody at the same time, and all that. But you're probably thinking, why don't I just get a Mac? It's because this can also be used as an iPad. You can still take your iPad and just use it like an iPad with touchscreen and everything. If you have an Apple Pencil, you can use it as a drawing tablet of sorts, which is what I personally do. I am at one moment am drawing something for say a thumbnail. Next moment I'm just using it as another web browser like a laptop with the case that I have. And I believe that that's the biggest strength when it comes to this new iPad OS release. The ability to have a functionally just MacBook, but at the same time, it still has those iPad features that iPad users like love so much. And of course, with it acting more like a MacBook with having tabs open for the applications, on the top left, you can see the red close, yellow minimize, and green full screen buttons. And at the very top, if you have your cursor up there or you swipe down, you also get the menu bar, which functions very similarly to how the MacBook has it on various applications. Where on the MacBook it's in the top left, on the iPad it's just a swipe down. Alongside this update, there's also functionality for the preview app, which it's alright. It's just another way of like note taking, looking at PDFs, editing PDFs, which I personally haven't used it. It is currently summer, so I haven't even been able to really use my iPad for school things. But honestly, it seems like a very nice addition that I'm probably going to be using if I ever do get a PDF that possibly doesn't export properly to Notability. Another feature I'm excited for is actually background tasks, where you can just be exporting a video while you can just do whatever you want with your iPad while it's exporting it. Sadly, this does not work with DaVinci Resolve or iMovie at the moment. I think it's just for Apple's premium option, which off the top of my head, I forgot the name. But I've been able to get it to work on DaVinci Resolve or iMovie. So sadly, I can't show it in action, but um, as a uh, as a content creator and also just somebody who likes to create videos, I feel like this is going to be an amazing little tool to use, simply because I could be exporting a slightly large video while at the same time still continuing to be able to use my iPad instead of just leaving it sit there and going on my phone. One more thing I like to add on is, as a content creator, microphone use is essential. And iPad actually included a new feature that allows me to just simply change the microphone without it being auto detected or something like that. I can just simply forcefully change it, which should be incredibly helpful when it comes to creating podcast like content, or even in the demonstration I'm showing, having a clip on, which this feature is also going to be on iPhones. I simply just don't have it on my iPhone currently, simply because I don't want to kill my battery. I have a 2-year-old video on my older iPhone where the battery just was doing terrible on a, I think it was iOS 16 public beta. The battery was just dead. When this battery, I'm trying to make sure it actually lasts. Now, this is just meant to be a bit of a quicker, shorter video. I don't have too much to say. I honestly don't even have that much more content to make, because since I'm not in college currently, I'm not using anything for college, so I have no like content to really make for college tech reviews. Well, this is actually college software review, which is just iPad 26. Sorry. If you have any form of recommendations for me to bring up, if you want me to bring up something that you might be curious if a college student possibly uses or even cares about, let me know in the comments below. But besides that, thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.